It's race weekend, my internet friends. The 24 hours of Daytona is starting sometime this weekend. And it being American times, I have no idea when or where I can watch the race. Now, IMSA is a series that I don't normally watch because, well, there are only so many streaming platforms that I can pay for. But the 24 hours of Daytona I have decided to watch, and nothing will stop me from watching it. I am that interested to see the new hypercars in action. So first off, let's check the entry list, where we got 3 Cadillacs, 2 Porsches, 2 BMWs, and 2 Acuras. And interestingly, there has been mention of Acura eventually making its way into the WEC, which I said I found very unlikely in a previous video, but I'm very happy to be wrong in this instance. Of course we will have to wait for official announcements, but hopefully this happens as soon as possible. Anyway, the 24 hours of Daytona will feature the new LMDH cars, and this is the reason I'm so excited for this race and will go out of my way to watch it. Most of these we will see in the WEC later this year or next year, so I'm very interested to see what's what when it comes to these cars, because these cars are all LMDH spec, so they should all be very similar in performance. I'm not a particular fan of any of these brands, so I will enjoy this race from a neutral standpoint, but that BMW looks so awesome, so I might be especially interested in watching how they do. The BMW will of course only compete in IMSA this season, and is coming to the WEC in the 2024 season, while Porsche and Cadillac are set to compete in the WEC this season. I'm not going to go into detail on the rest of the entry list, because well, I'm not that interested in it. But IMSA works slightly different than the WEC. They have 3 hypercar classes, the GTP, which is the hypercars, then there's LMP2, but in IMSA we also have LMP3, so that's interesting. But GT classes work similarly to how the WEC usually is, with 2 GT classes, the GTD Pro and the GTD. And the IMSA GT classes are GT3s, which is the change coming to WEC from the 2024 season as well. What will be very interesting to see in the GT classes though, is that the new Ferrari 296 GT3 will be running, and the 296 GT3 truly looks fantastic, so I'm keeping an eye on those as well. And there is a nice variety when it comes to the GT3s, at least compared to what we are used to see from the WEC. We have Corvettes, Porsches, Ferraris, as we are used to, but in IMSA we also see Aston Martins, Lexus, Lamborghini, Mercedes, BMW, Acura and McLaren. So hopefully this kind of variety is what we will see in the future seasons of the WEC, when the change to GT3s are complete. And then we have the track. Daytona, a track I am absolutely terrible at driving, but one that I still love. I'm talking about the road course naturally. I'm not really into circles, but I guess there will be a bit of circle driving. It would be hard to avoid on this track. But yeah, all of these fantastic cars on this fantastic track. I really am excited for the race, which leads me to my viewing issues. From what I understand, IMSA races are available to watch from the IMSA website, unless you are from a country where a broadcaster has the license to show the races. And there really aren't many countries listed as having these licenses, but of course Norway is one that does. And so the problem is that the broadcaster does not show the race on its official TV channels. Okay, fine, they have a streaming service, as everyone does these days. But when I go to their streaming service, it's impossible for me to find IMSA anywhere on the site, and on their schedule, nowhere is any IMSA race listed. So my problem becomes that the license holder in my country does not seem to show the race even on their own streaming platform. So I'm not quite sure yet on how I will watch the race, but I am determined to watch it, as I said. And if I have to find a shitty 240p stream that gives my computer cyber aids, I will do it. But hopefully I can find a better solution. Actually, I'm going to check if they have updated their schedule on their streaming service before I end, as I haven't checked since I wrote the script. So let's see. Saturday 28th. Okay, so they have actually updated since I wrote the script. so then I can watch the race without having to put a condom on the network cable. I'll probably just need to sell one of my kidneys to afford the sports package, but that's a sacrifice I'm ready to make. But that's it. If you liked this video, please click the like button. If you didn't, then feel free to dislike it. And if you want to see more of my content, then please consider subscribing to the channel. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.